As you can tell, folks, I'm just a blabbermouth these days, and good thing, because I just like talking about common sense and relationships and things that mean things to me and things that mean things to others and things that would hopefully mean something to all of mankind, if anyone wants to listen. I love talking. I just love lying anything that I possibly don't, because I just like doing it. It just cracks me up, letting the river flow. No, seriously, we were talking about like people actually sharing things with each other. You know, like as a kid in elementary school, when, you know, you got a new toy on the block or a new bike, and you were the kid that actually said, sure, all the other kids can use my bike whenever they want. People get old, they get all self-entitled, they're like sitting by themselves in their houses. You know, everything is on my property. It's a weird culture. It's just a weird culture. And people need to break that mentality. Remember, in the church, in the book of Acts, it says no one even confessed that the things they had were their own, but they had all things in common. Read that for yourself. In the book of Acts, when people were filled with the Holy Ghost, they said, I don't even own anything. Anything that is currently in my vicinity doesn't belong to me. If you want to use it anytime, it's yours. That is a mentality that needs to break the weird mentality in the West here, where everyone, it's all self-entitlement. It's like, I worked for this. I own this. I worked the system. You know, I worked the system to achieve these goods. They belong to me. I don't have to share them with anyone else in the toy room. You know, you're that little fat, chubby, hairy kid in the nursery that like gathered all the like colorful rings for yourself, and you stacked them up in the corner, and you're sitting in front of them in the corner, and the other kids are like looking at you, and they're like wondering if they're going to get to play with the rings too, and you're just like, I got these rings. I gotta keep them for myself. Don't you know? That's how the way our society works. If you work for something, if you get what you can get from the system based on whatever it is that you do, you got it, man. It's yours. And you certainly don't share anything with someone else. And you never ask to borrow something from someone else. That would be a sign of anti-culturalism. And we can't have that. Give me love, give me love. It's like people used to share things a lot more. In kindergarten, you shared things. Now, people don't even know what share means. And people, it shows you what people place their esteem in. Okay? It shows you people place their esteem in work, personal ability, and acquisition of things. Because if you didn't have your esteem based in those things, you would freely release them. You would freely let them be taken from you. Like Jesus said, if anyone wants to take something from you, give it to them. But I've always marveled, my friends, with dismay, especially here in the West, how we can have so many houses everywhere and so few house parties. I haven't been invited to anyone's house, like, and no one else is doing this. Like, you just don't see it happen. Like, and it's gotten worse over the years. I'm telling you, it's worse than ever before. And I honestly believe that a big part of this is a result of people being in debt, and the whole system is debt-based. It's, you know, we have to say the truth. The whole mortgage-based system is corrupt. People feel bound up in like 30-year obligations, and they're all stressed about it. They shouldn't be, but anyways. We have all these houses on planet Earth in the West, and so few house parties. Like we have all these. When was the last time you went over to a neighbor's house and enjoyed a meal together with them? It's just not happening. It's just not what our culture esteems. Our culture is psycho-independent. It is psycho-anti-relational. It's psycho-anti-relational. It's antisocial. Oh my goodness. Here's a bad one. And it's obvious that it's antisocial. I mean, yeah. Well, I guess people do what they can do, eh? But it's a plague in general. Like when you go to the average church service, you're not going to get a pastor encouraging people in personal relationships with God. What you're going to get is you're going to get a presentation where one guy is dictating his thoughts to a bunch of people that have to listen in silence with no control. The thing I love about these YouTube videos that I make and produce is because it's the ultimate freedom. It's the ultimate freedom. I'm not charging any money for sharing my thoughts. You can turn me off at any point that you want. You can skip ahead in the video. You can put it on fast. You can listen to me at double speed. You can easily ignore me. You can shut me off. It's freedom. I'm simply sharing my thoughts and speaking my mind and allowing anyone to want to watch some or all of it. It's awesome. I love it. I love video. I love the fact that we can put this stuff up on YouTube and people can watch whatever they want, whenever they want. And you're free. What I don't like is seeing people crammed into certain settings where they feel like they are obligated to stay there, listening to every single word that this guy has to say, and if they don't, man, you know, they're going to feel guilty about leaving or something like that. Okay? I just think people need to focus more on personal relationships and understanding and being better at talking with each other and sorting things out rather than just getting to work. That's the spirit in the culture in which I live, here in Western Canada and in much of the USA as well. People just get to work and people just do tasks and they don't actually, you know, get to know each other that much. And people just don't talk that much. They don't enjoy the pleasure of conversation like we should. And at the depth that we should. You know, and then when people do get together with talk, it's mind-blowing to me here in Canada. When people do get together for a conversation, well, especially men, there always has to be some concept of work or money. We need to talk about money, we're going to talk about our purchases. You know, we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about our business. What are we going to do next with our money, man? We're going to do something next. I got a new job coming up, man. People work all day and then they just get off work and they talk about work. It's like, that's all people are doing. It's like talking about work, thinking about work. I'm like, when are you going to think about God? When are you going to talk about God? Oh boy. So we need to start our own show called the Dr. Kubi Show or something, you know, where we just bring people on stage and we just start asking questions and we just let the Holy Ghost take over and we just have a giant conversation fest where we bring to light every single piece of understanding that's necessary for this human being, you know, regarding their past, you know, their struggles, their relationships. It's called the wisdom of God. I would have loved to be in the presence of Solomon when he was experiencing that wisdom high by God's ordinance. And he was just a river of like truth and wisdom and proverbs like day and night out of his mouth. Everyone was just standing around listening to this guy and they're like, yeah, just keep talking, dude. You're just explaining everything we've always wanted to know. You know? It's just, yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Yippee-ki-yay. All right, so that's the morning blabber fest, and all right, it's gonna be an awesome day. It's gonna be an awesome day walking with God. Remember to watch the Golden State Warriors game tonight. That's gonna be an obvious 3 fest on this 23rd day of the month, which is the 9th prime. It's the 3rd game of the series, and we're gonna see a lot of threes happen. I believe we're gonna see the Golden State Warriors win. And the numbers are just going to keep coming to me. I know that for a fact.